Hi, everyone. I want to talk through the steps as to how you could create an interactive activity in Seesaw based on something you might have downloaded from TPT or something you might have from Bridges or anywhere else. So let me show you this example. This is just one that I found on TPT. It's a free download that I found. Anyway, and so it's ordering numbers. So as you can see, if I scroll through this, you can see like the idea is there are these cards that then students have to put these cards into the correct spot. In a traditional classroom, I might have laminated these and this would be a center. But how can we make this work on Seesaw? So I'm going to show you some of the steps. It is a little bit tedious, but after a little bit of practice, it is a fun way to be able to do some of the things that you might have typically done. So what I am doing right now, this is actually downloaded into Adobe Acrobat because it's a PDF. That's the default viewer on the Dell. There are ways, full disclosure, that I would do this that are a lot easier on my Mac, but we're using Dell. So I'm going to talk you through some of these steps. So what I want to do is first, I'm going to go into my Seesaw. So here's my sample class, and I'm going to click in Activities, and I'm going to click Add Assign Activity because I want to create this as an activity. So I'm going to click Create New Activity. And what I want to do before I do any of this is I want to add the template for student responses. So this is where my students will be working from. So I'm going to click here so I get this blank option here. And then what I'm going to choose is I am going to go into a drawing. So I have a blank page here to work from. So now I'm going to come back over here. And let's say I want to do these two. I want to put into my screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Windows Shift S, and that grays out my screen so that I can select one section. So I'm going to select these two. Once I let go of my mouse, it saves them to my clipboard. I'm going to come back to Seesaw and I'm going to do Control V. Now here is what I just did. But now I need my students to actually have the pieces that they can move here as well. So what I want to do is I'm then going to go back over here. And if I scroll down here a little bit, I can find the actual pieces. So in this case, I need to have my students have, the answers would be 1 and 2, but I want to have some other choices there as well. So again, I'm going to do the same thing, Windows Shift S. I'm going to take a screenshot of the 1. And I'm going to take that over here and I'm going to paste it over here on the outside. So here it is, and I'm going to resize it so that it fits into this little box correctly. But I'm going to put it over here because I want my students to be able to move it. I'm going to come back over to my picture over here. I'm going to do the same thing, Windows Shift S. This time I'm going to choose the 2. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to do Control V to paste it. Again, I'm going to resize it to make sure it fits. And then I'm going to do, let's do one more, or 2 more so that they have some other choices. So Windows Shift S over here again. I'm going to choose the 3 this time. And then come over here and do Control V. There's the 3. Put it over here. And then finally, let's do the 4. So Windows Shift S. Here's the 4. And now I'm going to paste it over here. And now I've got all 4 of these on here. I'm going to hit check. And now I've got the template that my students will work from. I can then add in my information. So I'm going to call this missing numbers. And I would type in my directions. 1, click, and I know the shortcut is add. To tell them to click add response. 2, move the numbers into the correct place. And then I would tell them to click the check. Okay. Now, if this is kindergarten, I'm also going to add voice directions. So I'm going to go through and add my voice directions as well. I'm not going to go do that right now, but you would get the idea. I'm going to click save. And now this has been saved here. I'm going to then assign it to Mrs. Bertana's class, assign to one class. And now that is, I'm going to click back to class. And now in my activities, my students then see this as the missing numbers. I can go ahead and click add response. I'm going to choose this to be my sample student. They will see this. They can then click on the move button so they can move this. So that's the key. You need to tell them to move the move button. They can move this over and put it in the right spot. Click check and submit it to you. So that's how you can do a basic cut and paste activity in Seesaw. Hope that's